now tuned into the greatest.
Everything always works out. Everything always works out. That's why you're here. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sage Be Me podcast. This is your host, Sage Be Me, and we're continuing on I can't remember the name of the chapter, but at this point, we're past half the book, so I believe you know how to be happy because we're talking about the advantages, not talking about happiness at the moment. So I actually read this book. I finished it. It's called Advantage of Happiness. What? That shows how dedicated I am in this book. I'm moving really good. So The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. In the preface, usually starts telling us you constantly think that you're in control of your life, as in the decision you make are rational. Everyone thinks that the decision they make, what comes out of their mouth, is rational, but in real sense that's not true. It's not rational. It's just what you think. In the end of the matter, that's just what it is. It's your thoughts, and your thoughts can be far from the truth, and your thoughts can affect you. That's another story for another book. Anyways, since we're here, I'd like to tell you something. I realized, guys, for someone who's beginning to trade, it's basically dealing with emotions, and emotions are the ones that happiness is an emotion. Yeah. So let's talk about market crashes. Yeah? One happened in 2008. This was the US market or the world market. I don't really. It's the US market because the Fortune 500 companies are in the USA. So back then, as in the markets, or let me just say the normal statement that goes, it's usually buy low, sell high. This also happens in trading. You buy when it's low, when it gets high, you take a profit when cash has gotten into your pocket. You sell high because you've already made the money. Yeah. Okay. So we think that we are rational in the sense that people usually emotions actually determine everything. When you get into the markets and the markets immediately go opposite where you thought it was going to go, you've bought it high, so you're currently losing money. You panicking. What happens? You make emotional decisions. So in the book, he goes about, tells us there's a place in your knee when a doctor hits you with that metal thing. I've only seen this in movies. I've never actually been done it for seen someone do it. Your knee jacks and then the leg extends. Yeah, this is it's a response that you have no control over. Whichever time that specific position is hit, the leg will jack forward. So once the leg jacks forward, see, it proves that you don't have control. And once you don't have control over anything, that's where disaster comes. I just realized I never said anything dealing with control, but this is what is usually said. Yeah, I think I said it, but I'm just going to repeat for the purpose of the listeners, and we have time, 2 minutes or so. once you feel you don't have control over something, that's when you'll get stressed out about something. You'll tend to overthink it and emotional or irrational decisions, but you'll be thinking, it's really rational. Yeah, you will say things from your mouth that you think is rational, but if you think about it deeply in a state of clear thought, it really isn't rational. So why am I telling you about the knee? How is it related to whatever it is we're talking about? You see, one over something, it means you'll get stressed out. And once you're stressed out, each and every decision that you make out there will be irrational. In the sense that it won't be helping the future you, it will just be soothing the current you. Then later on, you'll be either regretting or thinking again, what can I do now? Instead of actually permanently solving the problem, that current problem. Yeah. So it's like once you feel like things are out of control, you need to step back. I'm not really advising you on what to do. I'm just putting it out there of how I think. This is actually how I think. I'm training myself to think. Let me say, not to say how I think. You actually have to put yourself in a position where you can clear your mind. Meditation. Once your mind is clear, that then is when you can make a proper decision. Otherwise, it's just completely useless. How will else will you explain this? It's just completely useless. Trying to do something that you think is right when you're stressed, when you're intoxicated, when you're stressed, when you're actually not in a balanced form. Yeah. And I realized you can't really meditate when you're intoxicated. As in, your mind won't be clear at all. Anyways, that's all for today, folks. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, share, comment. Follow me on my socials at sage underscore b underscore me on Twitter, sage underscore b underscore me, sage underscore b underscore muchachos on Instagram. And I'll see you in the next episode.